Hi, my name is Vincent, and I'm an email copywriter and list manager. Now I'm going to be on the online prosperity show with Prosper. We'll be talking about my journey so far from chemical engineering graduates transitioning into email marketing and helping clients. So tune in and see what you can get from me here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we've got an extraordinary guest that's joining us. Vincent, how are you doing, my man?
I'm good, Prosper. It's really nice to meet you again. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about this because when we first met, you were getting started. You were still a little bit younger, but now you're this big guy behind the scenes and behind a lot of email marketing campaigns. And I can't wait to, share your successes and everything else that you've been working on. So for those that are only meeting Vincent for the very first time, well, prepare to be amazed. Vincent started his journey as a hotel waiter with a degree in chemical engineering, but he found his true calling in helping brands thrive through email copywriting and list management. Now, today we're going to dive into his unique strategies, personal shifts, and captivating stories behind his successful business. Now, let's jump in. Vincent, welcome once again, my man. Tell us a little bit
Thank you
about
for
yourself, man. What's been happening?
Yeah, actually, the last time we spoke, I was starting out because I had just finished school, of course. Like you said, I read chemical engineering, but I'm from Nigeria. It's not, there are no much opportunities here, and really. Then I wanted to do something for myself, but when I wanted to get into copywriting, there was no money because I needed to buy a course. I knew the journey would be easier going through a course and a mentor than using free courses and all of that. But there was no money actually. So I had to go and do the waiting job, you knock on doors, your order is ready, you serve food and all that. But yeah, that was part of the journey. So eventually I got into copywriting. And like you already mentioned, when we spoke earlier, I was starting out. I just finished learning and then I was starting out. I needed some experience. Yeah, but so far I've been able to work with some clients here, get my skin into the game and see what it's all about.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations, man. At least, now you can choose your hours, you can choose everything else that comes along with it. Because working in a hotel, you just have to be at the back and call of the clients. And usually the hours are a little bit late and it's not a very comfortable sort of, setup. Now, have you ever been back to the hotel that you used to work at?
Not yet. I have plans because, like you said, it was not easy. I used to work 24-hour shifts.
Wow.
And yeah, at the end of the day, probably if I had worked then around 5 a.m., I would sleep on a table and wait till I closed for the day and then I went home. Then I came back, worked, so it was very hectic. Yeah, but I have plans of going back there this year. Yeah, but there are people who were really nice to me that I would love to see. And, to just show myself how far I've come, that at least now, what used to be my monthly salary, I could pay for it in a night for a room. Yeah, so it's in my to-do list.
Absolutely. You should go there, buy yourself a meal or a coffee, just sit there. Don't tell anyone what you're doing and just enjoy the steps of how far you've come. So while you were doing this job, is that when you were also studying to be a chemical engineer or did that happen before that?
No, I read chemical engineering 5 years. So it's a 5 years course over here. So I had just graduated. So I already graduated from chemical engineering before going to that. The thing was I graduated and then I needed to go further. And I realized that I didn't have enough cash to even because why doing chemical engineering? It was my uncle who paid my tuition throughout that time. So going forward for myself, it was no longer my uncle now. I needed something for myself. And since I couldn't afford to buy even a course, yeah, I had to go and do the waiting job. So it was all after the chemical. I already had a chemical engineering degree at that point.
Oh, wow. So obviously, the whole going to university was the wishes of your family, not necessarily
Exactly.
what you would have wanted to.
I just didn't know better because generally the knowledge here is you go to the university, you get good grades, you get a job. Yeah, but it was all a pipe dream because you now realize you did go to the university, you did get good grades, but the jobs are not there. Now you have to, yeah, you have to look out for yourself. You have to know that nobody is coming to save you. So yeah, like that was what I realized. I sat down and thought that, oh, do I just have to keep job hunting, or I could see the way the world is going. It's going digital. I could do something for myself instead of just waiting for somebody to come save me. Yes, that's why I took matters into my own hands and learning copywriting, helping clients in the way.
Absolutely. And congratulations, you made that shift because now you're working on an international scene and it's not necessarily, being attached to geography. You can work with anyone anywhere in the world. What does the family think now for the transition that you did? Because obviously they'll be like, we wasted our money.
Yeah, it's still hard on them because they are still sending me job links, but I already told them this is my direction. Like there's clarity. I just want to give it my all and see. But yeah, it's still hard on them. They still can't fathom how I can just walk away on an effort of 5 years or more. And just, but yeah, like I said, I already have direction and clarity. I just want to face that. So the thing is, it's about results. Like at a point, if they see the results, they will be like, oh, this is actually working. Maybe he's right. You know. So it's about me like producing enough results to convince them that I actually made the right decision.
Absolutely. You need to work twice as hard to get them off your back. And once they've seen that you're free, you're doing your thing, then obviously it's you can now express yourself in this way. So was it a difficult transition? I'm not talking about the family, but the actual learning part, was it difficult to transition from a chemical logical mind, which is numbers and the periodic table, to actually having to understand the mind and being able to put words on paper that actually mean something to another person.
Yeah, it was because even though I had done some writing in my earlier years, now it was engineering these whole 5 years. So learning now and then actually practicing, I think the hardest point was the point where I had to implement what I had learned. I had to write. I had to write every day. It's been long that I actually wrote. Throughout engineering was mathematics basically. But now I had to think of big ideas and then write. That was the hardest part. But I think also where the engineering helped was, it meant I learned faster, especially with platforms. Especially with I didn't have to take extra lessons with digital platform. It just came hands on. So the engineering knowledge meant I learned faster with platforms. But the writing part was actually, but what happened was I feel like it's just the way you develop a new habit here. You just do it every time. So I did it for a long time. So once I did it long enough, it became part of me. So now I can just put my phone and write easily like it's nothing.
That's something else. So while you were doing this, did you have any sort of inspiration, or did you have people that you looked up to and say, you know what, if I really, really kick my goals and, put my mind into this, I will probably become, like X or somebody?
So yeah, for me, it was more about, okay, apart from those who, first of all, it was realizing that this thing I'm doing, success leaves blueprints. So I don't really have to, reinvent the wheel. I can study what people have done and follow it. And then I read very good books. I broke it down into three parts. I knew my job was, I had to work on my mindsets. I had to work on my skill sets. And then I had to work on my habits. So yeah, so for the skill set, I was learning copywriting. I started reading books on mindsets. Yeah, I started with Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Yeah. Then I started reading books on habits too. I don't know if you know Atomic Habits, James Clear. So once I broke it down like that, it was easier. So I was not just working on copywriting. I was building my mindset. I was building the habits that are necessary for me to, get where I'm going.
Fantastic. I love that because both the books that you've mentioned are pivotal in the success of a lot of people. And the fact that you worked on your habits, your mindset, and pretty much your skill set, that became a toolbox that you would actually show up in the world with. Because no matter what it is, if you are investing in yourself, you literally can be, do, and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Now, that explains now how you literally kicking it out of the park there. Tell us about maybe the mindset shift that actually had to then be utilized in order for you to transform yourself into what you're now doing this, and how did maybe controlling your mind impact your success? Because some people just jump into it and think, oh, I will just maybe, like you say, copy what other people are doing. But then there has to be a certain mindset that you need to, adopt.
Yeah, it was actually finding out, first of all, the book I read, like the fact that you could think and grow it was different for me. Like, for real. So I didn't know before that my mind had so much power. So it was a shift for me, knowing that adopting a positive mindset could be a game changer. So I transformed my mindset from seeing the negative side of things to now seeing the positive. So even when I wasn't seeing results, I just knew that, oh, like the kind of mindset I have was that my efforts were compounding. So it was about compounding effort for me, and one day it will show. So as long as you are putting in the work, it's about time. Then I learned like perseverance. That was part of my mindset. Like I cannot give in. I just have to keep going until it can only take time as long as you're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. You know what I like about your scenario is you would have gone in and done the formal education and did 5 years. And a lot of people wouldn't have complained about that. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, people expect instant results. People want results like tomorrow. And it's very confusing for a lot of people why they can't get these results, because they're just looking at other people that have achieved and not looking at the journey that that person has taken. Now, you're based in Africa and you're based in Nigeria, where maybe the resources are not as equally the same as people that are in the first world. How have you been managing that and actually setting expectations for yourself to ensure that you are not just following shiny objects, but you're doing the right things that are moving you towards, the success that you now have?
So I think the major problem to start with is, should I call them the online gurus we have? People who sell these dreams.
Absolutely.
Because yeah, when I bought a copywriting course, they told me I'd making $2,000 in 3 months. That's, but yeah, now I go into copywriting. I knew that, oh, this was just a persuasion technique they used to sell this course to me. So realizing now that most of these people, what they are saying is just a pipe dream. And then life is a process. You could see someone, they say there are times for everything. There's time to sow and there's time to reap. Now, understand that I'm at my sowing stage. And that shiny object could be someone who has sowed already and is reaping at that time. So I learned to take my eyes off someone who is at his own stage and focus on my own journey. So it was about cutting out the noise and focusing on my own journey. That's how it has been for me. Because, every day you are there, you are trying to, see how you can get the next client. And someone says, I just made 20K, 100K from copywriting this month. And then for most people, it just makes them lose focus because it feels like you're not doing the right thing. But I understand process. It's about process. This person probably has been in the journey longer than you are. They've done work that you not see. You are seeing the results, but you not see the hard work. So because the result you see, there's a way the result you see outside is as a result of work done inside. So you don't see the work, but you see the result. So if you actually want to see that kind of result for yourself, you have to go and do the work behind so a result will reflect it.
Fantastic. I quite like that. It's like looking at someone with muscles, and you're like, let me just go and eat. What is it that you eat? The maize meal.
Fufu?
Ufu. Yeah, I say I'll eat a lot of ufu, and then and then tomorrow I come up with big muscles
Nah,
and I'm
we
walking
have,
in
we
the
have to
market.
put in a lot of reps.
Yeah. Absolutely. Another thing that you mentioned was time. Time is something that a lot of people sort of neglect as part of an investment they have to do, but also not necessarily the time as in patience, but time as in managing your time and delivering to clients that are obviously in different time zones, and you know what I mean, they have different expectations and things of that nature. Now, with the type of work that you're doing, which is email marketing, time management is a very crucial aspect, because some emails have to be timely and things of that nature. How do you use maybe scheduling to enhance maybe your productivity while you're working from home, and especially in totally different time zones?
That's a very great question because, first of all, it all boils down to scheduling, as you already mentioned, because I've worked with clients in Australia. Australia is 9 hours ahead of my time. Now, by the time I'm waking up, it's already evening, like it's 7 a.m. here right now. So you can see the difference. So I really have to schedule. I've worked with clients in the US more than 5 hours, 6 hours behind. It's just time management, and sometimes I have to compromise. Like sometimes I have to stay up really late, 12 a.m., 1 a.m. here, when it's 9 a.m. over there. So I'm able to deliver. So it's about time management and compromising sometimes. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I mean, obviously you've been able to do that well since you've managed to stay in the game for a bit. Now, let's talk about your business. Tell us about your email copywriting service. What is it that you do? What sets it apart? And how can people actually benefit from the services that you provide?
So yeah, so many people believe that email is dead, but I think that's a very big misconception. There's so much money that can be made from emails. So now, for me, emails is not just about selling, it's about building relationships. Now, but it's not everyone who can communicate in a way where you're able to build a relationship with your audience and then you can sell to them. Because it's easier to sell when it feels like you're not selling. If you are built a relationship, selling becomes easier. So for me, it's about crafting emails that You are not just sending out emails like you are like it's AI or a bot. You are someone reading this email should know that there's a human on the other part. So that's what I try to reflect to my emails. So my service is majorly about I'll craft the emails, write them, like I'll do the whole research your audience, craft emails that actually resonate, not just writing any emails, and then manage your list for you. Because I found out that most of the clients I write emails for, they are actually too busy to set up those emails or, take out time to send them out. So now it's my work. And then I have to work on your list because it's not everyone on your list who is an active subscriber. There are people who shouldn't be there. There are people who don't read your emails again and it's affecting the health of your list. Those are parts of list management where you have to segment your audience now. This person is interested in this, or this person has bought from you before. So segmenting them means you can upsell or cross-sell other things you want from them. Then this person has never bought from you. Segmenting it differentiates your messaging, the way you're talking to this person. This might be interested in this, but not in this. Then this other person might be interested in B, but not in A. You can't be talking about B to person who is interested in A. It kills your messaging. So all those are parts of what I do with list management, where I segment your list, I clean out the inactive subscribers, and then so that your conversions, all those things help your conversions generally. So it's majorly writing the emails, setting them up, and then managing your list for you.
Fantastic. And who do you normally get great success working with? What type of businesses?
Yeah, I've worked majorly with the health niche, which is generally the health niche. As long as you're in the health niche, I have, because I think what prompted that was actually with my first client. So it was an agency, and all of the jobs they gave to me were in the health niche. So going forward from that, helping other clients, I felt like, okay, since I already have enough experience with the health niche, I could help more clients in that niche. So generally, mostly people in the health niche, whether you have a coaching, you're a health coach, or you have supplements you can sell. The thing with the health niche is with the research, there are a lot of people with health problems out there. And if you go to forums, if you go to the right places online, they easily pour out their hearts. So you're able to see how you can connect to it. You're able to actually put yourself in their shoes with the things they say. So mostly, as long as the client is in the health niche, it's easier for me.
Fantastic. And what would be the best way that people can get a hold of you?
Yeah, my LinkedIn. My
Fantastic.
LinkedIn, Vincent is a.
Absolutely. I'll make sure that all those links are in the show notes below. Now, maybe you can share with us a successful maybe case study of a notable campaign that you've probably worked on. One of my favorite jobs that you've done is I think it's Beyond the Box, the welcome flow that you did for that. And I think it was the Curcumin campaign. Can you maybe just walk us through, the process of how you made that a success?
All right. The Beyond the Box is actually a weight loss company. So they deal with weight loss. So for me, the campaign actually, the the CEO reached out to me earlier this year and said, okay, that actually generally they had a 10% increase in revenue, and that actually contributed, like generally the business. So she was really grateful. But the idea is now she has a business that, generally with weight loss, people want easy results. So they chase fat diets and things that don't really work. But with her process, she would she had this process where you have to go through the weight loss, but it's more like the process we talked about. It's not something you just do from just eating something. So she had meal plans that she would break up for you. Then there's the motivation part. So her coaching was more of something she called the 4M method. So she broke it down into mindsets. She said that weight loss was not just about eating some food. She broke it down into mindsets. Then I think the food you eat, your meal, motivation, and there's the other M I can't really remember, but it was about, communicating to this audience about that 4M method, this thing that is different from what they know. And then being able to convince them that what they are doing is wrong and this is what they should be doing. So most part of the research was about showing the audience how most of the weight loss um, methods they are using right now doesn't actually cut it, and this is what they need. And first of all, they needed to hack into their mindset. Like we mentioned earlier, mindset is important in everything. We had to educate, because most people who are losing weight didn't actually know before that mindset plays a role. We had to educate them first, let them see how much mindset plays a role in their weight loss journey before we now show them how they can use their meal, their movements, and then, to lose weight.
Fantastic. Oh, that is actually a really good campaign, and congratulations for being a part of that moving forward. So I'll definitely make sure that all those links that people can get a hold of you will be in the show notes below. So tell me, are you excited about who you've become now? Because this has been a long journey for you, and tell us what's next moving forward.
For me, it's a journey. So I'm not where I used to be, but of course, this I've now arrived. It's still a journey. This part of the journey. On the With the bigger picture, I'm thinking of actually in the future building, a kind of agency that just an email marketing agency, majorly that, but not the type that does what most of these, just an agency that is different, that actually shows that, the clients I want are clients who want to build relationships with their audience, not just, there are people who actually have lists, and they only remember they have lists during Black Friday, where they just come to say 50% off, and I don't want that. Yeah, actually want clients who care, who want to change. You have a product that is actually changing people's lives, and then we help you sell that solution through email.
Now, if you would give advice to your younger self, when you were getting started and you're all confused about everything else, what sort of advice would you give to yourself, knowing what you know now about the journey that you've taken?
One, I think I would give two advices. One, make prompt decisions, because then I used to wait for the perfect time. Yeah, but I now understand that a good plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. So my younger self, I would act promptly, like I would take decisions on the go. And then, not just for me now, but for every other person starting out there, to know the place of mentorship. Mentorship is very important, because I credit most part of my journey to mentorship. And actually, I've invested so much in mentorship, because actually, initially, most part of the money I was seeing, and I was channeling it back to mentorship, and I know how far it has taken me. So they prioritize mentorships.
Absolutely. See, if you want to go far, you go alone. But if you want to go further, you go together. So many people have
Exactly.
taken the time to learn all of these things. And like you say, success leaves clues, or success leaves a blueprint. And all you can do is just not reinvent the wheel, but actually just follow through in the steps of those people that have
Exactly.
actually conquered that. Now, there you have it, folks. A captivating journey through the life and the business of Sir Vincent Eze, from humble beginnings to crafting compelling email campaigns. I think his story is one of one of the best stories I've ever had to share. It's of inspiration and success. And every time I'm looking at him, I'm looking at younger me, how far I have come to. And I can't wait to see what it is that you're going to be doing out there in the future, my man. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today on the Online Prosperity Show.
The pleasure is mine, Prosper. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. And if you're watching right now and if you want to elevate your brand through expert copywriting, I think Vincent is the guy to go to. Like you said, you got to create relationships with the people that you want to be demanding money off of in the future. So reach out to him. I will definitely put out all the links in the show notes. And yeah, put your brand story out there so you too can be the next success story. And maybe one day we can also feature you on the Online Prosperity Show. But if you're enjoying these episodes, why don't you subscribe so that we can inspire you a lot more so that you too can do and have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. Until next time, this is Prosper and Vincent. We're signing off. Bye for now.